Demon Note Mountain had always been filled with ice and rock. When Luo Feng flew out of the outermost cave, he saw the endless space in the distance. He immediately felt comfortable and at ease. I'm out. This trip to Demon Note Mountain can be considered over. Luo Feng turned to look at the endless Demon Mountain, exclaiming within, his gains from this trip to Demon Note Mountain were indeed shocking. That Demon Note inheritance had allowed his spirit energy amplitude to reach over 3,200, and many spirit readers under normal circumstances could only reach 100. Even the completion of deities of the world only allowed one's strength to reach 27 times that. This inheritance is a priceless treasure. It's a pity my strength is too weak. My soul can withstand too little of the inheritance. If I had Sector Lord Pinnacle strength and ate the gold soul fruit, I'd probably be able to rush to the second part. The moment I step on the stairs to the second part, I'd probably be able to see the shrine at the end of the second part. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. Luo Feng had only stepped on 1/10 of the first part when the shrine appeared. According to Luo Feng's guess, he had to step on 1/10 of the second part before the shrine would appear. He had to make the shrine appear before he could acquire the treasures within. It's a pity I've only reached the end of the first part. If I could reach 1/10 of the second part, I'd be able to use the Masha clansman to acquire the treasures within the shrine. After consuming it, I'd be able to advance by a huge amount. As Luo Feng looked at Demon Note Mountain and exclaimed within, a small team of silver-clothed attendants swiftly flew over. Your Majesty. Your Majesty Luo Feng. When the group of silver-robed deacons flew over, they immediately bowed respectfully. Among them, there was a silver-robed deacon who immediately said, Congratulations on leaving the demonic Note Mountain, Your Highness. Luo Feng nodded. Your Highness, please follow us. This team of silver-clothed attendants didn't dare delay. Recently there had been a total of 2 majesties in Demon Note Mountain. One was Luo Feng and the other was a majesty from the last phase region. In terms of position, Luo Feng was naturally much higher. The attendants respectfully led Luo Feng towards the palace at the foot of Demon Mountain. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A white-clothed silhouette swiftly flew over. Oh, it's you Yichang? Luo Feng immediately recognized this white-robed youth. It was the one that welcomed him 12 years ago when he came to Demon Mountain. Your Highness still remembers Yichang's name. The white-robed youth seemed very excited as he said, Your Highness has been in the demonic Note Mountain for a whole 12 years. You came out safely. It's really amazing. Even though he said that, the white-robed youth Yichang sighed within. If official Piyu knew Luo Feng made it out alive, she would probably be very unhappy. In the cold and gloomy hall, Piyu sat in her throne, her undying energy silently swept past Luo Feng and the white-robed Yichang. With her abilities, even Babata's equipment couldn't detect her. After all, in terms of strength, Marquis Piyu was slightly stronger than Hu Yenbo back in the day. Moreover, Marquis Piyu mainly researched the soul. This Luo Feng is actually still alive, staying in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. He has some ability. Marquis Piyu said softly, her eyes cold. Kacha, her right hand, which seemed to be carved from jade, actually crushed the armrest of the throne. However, there will be a day. Marquis Piyu's voice was low. What? Marquis Piyu's expression changed greatly. 10,000 black tags, that Luo Feng actually managed to collect 10,000 black tags? Marquis Piyu was no longer as calm as before, there was only shock and rage. Luo Feng was chatting with the white-robed youth Yichang as they walked. 10,000 black tags? The white-robed Yichang looked with shock at Luo Feng. Your Majesty Luo Feng, collecting 10,000 black tags is much harder than the survival mission. After so many years, it's been a long time since someone managed to collect 10,000 black tags. Only Mo Luo from before did it. Mo Luo? Luo Feng frowned. He completed it too? To collect 10,000 black tags, the fastest way was to kill a Sector Lord. And a Universe Level 9 killing a Sector Lord? Just how unbelievable was that? Just relying on one's own strength wasn't possible. Normally one had to rely on life support or technological weapons etc. He himself relied on the Masha clansman and the E9 grade laser gun to complete it. Then what did Mo Luo rely on? Right. The white-robed youth nodded. His Majesty Mo Luo indeed completed it, however he only stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 3 years before coming out. His speed is indeed fast. Luo Feng smiled indifferently. To collect 10,000 black tags is extremely difficult. I spent 12 years before I succeeded. This Mo Luo is faster than me in collecting the tags. The white-robed youth said, for His Majesty Luo Feng to persevere for 12 years to collect the black tags, his perseverance is shocking. Even though he said that, he was filled with disdain within. This absolute genius Luo Feng didn't care about his life at all. To collect enough black tags, he actually stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. Demon Note Mountain was an impossible level mission location. Staying for 12 years, no matter how lucky he was, he would still meet Sector Lord Aboriginals and Sector Lord Beasts. I really don't know how he survived. The white-robed youth Yichang muttered within. After a while, Yichang brought Luo Feng to a palace. Your Majesty Luo Feng, as you've collected 10,000 black tags, naturally you'll receive a huge reward. This huge reward will be personally given to you by Sky Feather Emperor from the Virtual Universe Company stationed here. Yichang smiled. Please wait a moment, I'll go report. Please wait for Sky Feather Emperor to meet you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Watching Yichang leave, Luo Feng was shocked within. Sky Feather Emperor? After following his teacher True Yen for so many years, Luo Feng had heard of a few absolute beings' names. There were strong and weak emperor-level undyings too, and there were very few that were infinitely close to the universe country leader level. Like his teacher True Yen Emperor. And Sky Feather Emperor was a name his teacher had mentioned before and specially praised. Emperor-level undyings, those that True Yen couldn't handle could be counted with one's fingers, and Sky Feather Emperor was one of them. According to what my teacher said, Sky Feather Emperor is proficient in space and time. He's an absolute being that trains the universe Primal Chaos Tablet. Even my teacher can't handle him. His position in the virtual universe company is extremely high. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. He wanted to meet this legendary being. Compared to True Yen King, Heavenly Feather King, these legendary existences, Mist King was much worse. Your Majesty Luo Feng, Lord Sky Feather Emperor is waiting for you in his feather palace. The white-robed youth Yi Chang smiled. Please follow me. Luo Feng nodded, immediately following the white-robed youth Yi Chang and flying through the palaces at the foot of Demon Mountain. After flying for about 2 minutes, they arrived at a majestic palace that was at least 100,000 kilometers tall. The entire outer wall of the palace was made up of a strange-looking bird carving. This bird had 3 pairs of wings, 3 eyes, on its head there was a crown-like feather. Especially that vertical eye, even though it was just a huge carving, this bird carving still had a shocking feeling of being able to see through space and time. Your Majesty, please enter, I can't accompany you inside. The white-robed youth Yi Chang stood outside the palace. The golden armored guards outside the palace all made way. There were over 1,000 of them, of which there were a total of 10 undyings. Undyings guarding outside the palace? Luo Feng felt incredulous. Even his teacher True Yen Emperor wasn't that powerful. And the undyings usually had their own pride. Even if they submitted to a powerful being being ordered to guard the palace, they usually wouldn't agree. Unless there was a special reason. Luo Feng immediately stepped into Feather Palace. Feather Palace's first-level main palace, it was incomparably majestic, gold and jade dazzling. The entire main palace was mainly gold and black, these 2 colors. So, Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew within the palace. After flying for a while, he saw the silhouette on the throne, and the other silhouettes on the 2 sides of the palace. Greetings Sky Feather Emperor. Luo Feng bowed. True Yen has taken in a good disciple. The voice of the silhouette on the throne resounded throughout the entire palace. This palace was close to 100,000 kilometers in length and width. Theoretically speaking, it would take a long time to transmit. However, the moment the silhouette opened his mouth, it reverberated throughout the entire palace. Only then did Luo Feng look up at the silhouette on the throne. He had long golden hair and a pair of eyes that were dark blue. However, the vertical eye between his brows had a golden pupil. His nose was tall, his lips thin. However, when he looked down, it made Luo Feng feel like he was looking at the endless universe. That sort of natural nobility. Unknowingly, it made one want to submit. What a terrifying being, no wonder he's on par with my teacher. Luo Feng was shocked within. At the level of True Yen and Sky Feather Emperor, these beings that were infinitely close to the universe country leader level, even in the virtual universe company, they wouldn't be under any country leader or knight, they no longer needed to rely on them. The ones beside. Luo Feng's gaze swept. On the 2 sides of the palace sat a total of 24 people. They all looked different, some tall and sturdy, some seductive, some cold. However, according to Luo Feng's long time spent with his seniors and juniors in Primal Chaos City, these 24 before him were probably all undyings. Take out your 10,000 black tags. The silhouette on the throne said. Yes. Luo Feng waved his hand and immediately a pile of black tags appeared beside him. According to Demon Mountain's rules, if you can collect 10,000 black tags, you'll receive a reward. Sky Feather Emperor gazed at the tiny silhouette below, saying indifferently, I'll give you 3 rewards to choose from, you can only pick one. The moment those words were said, the expressions of the 24 undyings below all changed. However, they didn't dare make a sound. Amongst the 24 undyings, Official Pu thought within, what's with Lord Sky Feather Emperor? Doesn't he usually just give out 1 reward? Why is he giving this punk a chance to choose? She was very unhappy within. However, she didn't dare to make a sound. Sky Feather Emperor was tyrannical. The moment one went against him, the result would be death. Luo Feng himself didn't know that under normal circumstances, he would only be given 1 reward. He thought that choosing 1 out of the 3 was normal. 3 rewards. Luo Feng looked expectantly at the throne above, at Sky Feather Emperor. The first is the Chrysalis Armor. In the throne, Sky Feather Emperor said slowly, the Chrysalis Armor is an armor that undyings like. Its defense is not bad. If a Sector Lord level 1 or 2 uses it, it can defend against all non-soul attacks under the undying level. Anqiu Wushang, you're a spirit reader, hence you should pay more attention to your material defense. This armor suits you better. Luo Feng was shocked within as he heard. A Sector Lord level 1 wearing that armor, that was equivalent to being able to defend against all non-soul attacks under the undying level? It was indeed the armor that undyings loved. Babata shouted within Luo Feng's consciousness. Chrysalis Armor, Luo Feng, your teacher back then also used the Cloud Contact Vine to become undying. You didn't need that armor at all. Otherwise, even to your teacher, the Chrysalis Armor is not bad. The auction price of the Chrysalis Armor usually reaches 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. Luo Feng was shocked. 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements? The entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield's value was only about 300,000 to 1 million mixed elements. A piece of armor was more expensive than a vast starfield? The second one is a palm-sized piece of Jiu Yan Void Gold that weighs 3.1 tons. The Throne Sky Feather Emperor continued, Flame Void Gold, it's a very valuable material for creating weapons. Before you reach Undying, you can buy a few spirit weapons etc. However, once you become Undying, you'll need to use your own techniques to create the most suitable weapon for yourself. Flame Void Gold, it's considered an extremely rare material for creating weapons. Luo Feng blinked. A palm-sized piece of material? The third is cash. Sky Feather Emperor said from the throne, that Chrysalis Armor and Flame Void Gold are both worth about 500,000 mixed elements. Hence, the third reward is 500,000 mixed elements in cash. If you're not satisfied with the first two, you can choose money, after which you can buy what you need. You can only choose one out of the three. Sky Feather Emperor gazed at Luo Feng, choose. The other 24 official level Undying's expressions all changed, they were all shocked. They had been stationed here with King Skyfeather for too long, and it had been a long time since they had seen King Skyfeather being so easy to talk to. The so-called huge rewards, actually the Virtual Universe company had a fixed range. Normally they would just casually take out a similar reward and send away those who managed to collect 10,000 black tags. But this time. First of all, the 3 rewards that Skyfeather Monarch took out were all astonishing. The Chrysalis Armor, even Undyings would fight over it. If Luo Feng used it, he could use it all the way to the Undying level. The Flame Void Gold was even more precious and rare. Even the Skyfeather Monarch himself said that it was very precious and extremely rare. A palm-sized piece of raw material was already so precious. Finally, cash. Actually, cash was the weakest of the 3, but didn't you hear King Skyfeather say, if you're not satisfied with the first 2, you can use cash to buy what you need? This was completely for Luo Feng. It was rare for them to see Skyfeather Monarch treat someone so politely. Babata, which one should I choose? Luo Feng asked within. Even though he had his own judgment, he was after all less knowledgeable. Babata was much more knowledgeable. There's no need for the Chrysalis Armor for now because we can nurture the Cloud Contact Vine to reach Sector Lord level very quickly. Nurturing it to Sector Lord level 9 isn't hard. As for becoming an Undying. Once you become an Undying, with your background and how much the Virtual Universe company values you, the armor you use will probably be even better than the Chrysalis Armor. And the moment you find a way to make the Cloud Contact Vine Undying, then there's even less of a need for the Chrysalis Armor. As for cash, there's no need for that. Because your teacher's entire fortune is in the bank account. As long as you use your Domain Lord status to go to any Universe Galaxy bank in any starfield, you'll be able to get the fortune your teacher left for you. Hence, you don't lack money. To you, the most important thing is the Flame Void Gold. Even though Skyfeather Monarch said the Chrysalis Armor and the Flame Void Gold are both worth 500,000 mixed elements. However, I have to say, Skyfeather Monarch's position is extremely respected, hence he was able to use 500,000 mixed elements to buy the Chrysalis Armor and the Flame Void Gold. And in truth, the Chrysalis Armor I said before, its auction price is 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. And the Flame Void Gold will be auctioned for 1.5 to 2 million mixed elements. Babata said. Why is the Flame Void Gold so much more expensive than the Chrysalis Armor? And Skyfeather Monarch, he can buy it for 500,000 mixed elements? Luo Feng was curious. Because the Flame Void Gold is simply too rare, almost all of it has been monopolized by absolute beings. Babata said, the rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Maybe to Skyfeather Monarch he can buy it, but to other Undyings, even if they're willing to pay double the price they still won't be able to buy it. In comparison, the Chrysalis Armor is much more expensive than the Flame Void Gold. Also, Luo Feng, you'll definitely have to create a technique that suits you the best. This is a path that any warrior has to walk, and normally during the Sector Lord Pinnacle, they'll start creating their own techniques. During that time, they'll already be able to gather the materials to create their own weapons. Babata said. Skyfeather Emperor's 3 sets of rewards indeed made the 24 official level Undyings extremely curious. Just what background did this Luo Feng have to make Skyfeather Emperor act like this? True Yen Emperor's disciple? It couldn't be. After all, in terms of position, Skyfeather Emperor was on par with True Yen Emperor. There was no need to use this to get on True Yen Emperor's good side. And Skyfeather Emperor's personality was incomparably arrogant. Even some Universe country leaders, he didn't really care. Maybe Universe country leaders were stronger than him, but once Skyfeather Emperor's strongest technique was unleashed, if he wanted to flee, even Universe country leaders would find it hard to kill him. Actually, in the vast universe, the group of Emperor-level Undyings that were considered to be infinitely close to the Universe country leaders may not be a match for a Universe country leader in a head-on battle. However, all of them had great abilities that allowed them to dominate the universe. They at least had the ability to protect themselves. This was also why they didn't need to rely on the Universe country leaders. Lord Skyfeather Emperor, I'm willing to choose the second set of rewards, the Flame Void Gold. Luo Feng said respectfully. Below the throne, official Puyu creased her eyebrows, snorting coldly within. This punk is only a Universe level 9 and he actually knows the Flame Void Gold is the best. He probably got lucky. Official Puyu didn't like Luo Feng at all. Haha. In the throne, Skyfeather Emperor let out a rare laugh. Alright, this piece of Flame Void Gold is for you. with a casual toss, immediately an almost completely transparent crystal with golden threads within instantly passed through space and appeared before Luo Feng. My god, teleportation? Luo Feng was shocked. He had clearly seen that the crystal had disappeared into thin air after Skyfeather King had thrown it, then reappeared in front of him out of thin air. Even with his universe space senses, he could only feel a very weak ripple in space. After completing the Demon Mountain mission, you should be returning to the Primal region, right? Skyfeather Emperor said. Luo Feng couldn't care less about observing the precious flame void gold, immediately keeping it in his space ring and saying respectfully, yes, even though I've been in the Primal region for a few years, I've always been in Demon Mountain. Hence I haven't been to the Primal region. The universe ship arranged for you to return will send you directly to the Primal region. After Skyfeather Emperor finished, he vanished from his throne. After a while, Luo Feng sat in a universe ship specially arranged by Skyfeather Emperor and left Demon Mountain. Not too far away from Demon Mountain was a cleared-out region and it accelerated through universe travel. Skyfeather Emperor sure is courteous. Luo Feng was in his resting cabin, looking at the 3.1-ton palm-sized transparent metal in his hands. The entire metal was almost like a transparent crystal, even more transparent than a crystal. If one didn't pay attention, one would think it was air, just that there were a few thin golden threads within. Touching this piece of flame void gold, Luo Feng could feel the surrounding space ripple. What a peculiar metal. Luo Feng was shocked within. Immediately his consciousness connected to the virtual universe network and sent a mail to his teacher Tru Yen, explaining about the reward of the flame void gold in Demon Mountain. Of course he also explained the details of the process, because Luo Feng himself felt that Skyfeather Emperor was indeed very friendly. After a while Luo Feng received the mail. It was his teacher's reply. Luo Feng opened it. I've saved Skyfeather Emperor's life before, however very few people in the universe know of this. Don't spread it. Skyfeather Emperor is someone who cares about his reputation. If you give him face he'll return it 10 times over. Teacher, you're vicious. Luo Feng stared. So it was like that. Normally the more prideful a person was, the more they couldn't afford to owe others favors. Much less a life-saving favor? This teacher of mine is direct and explosive. I've heard he's offended many people. Before, he even told me to be careful when I became a domain lord or a governor. However, from the looks of it, even though he has some hidden enemies, he has some friends too. And such powerful friends. Luo Feng smiled and exclaimed. Time passed. After 3 months, the universe ship finally entered the Primal region. After universe travel back to the actual universe, after flying for half a day, they finally arrived at the place where the core geniuses were staying. Your Majesty Luo Feng, ahead is where the 113 geniuses are staying. A tall man with 3 pairs of silver wings pointed to the front. Under the external simulation, Luo Feng could see the 136 stars in the distant void. The 136 huge stars revolved around each other in the void, their trajectories extremely mysterious. As Luo Feng watched, he suddenly recalled the scene of the Tianshi Palace leader using the 9 black flame planets to practice the space laws. It's a little similar. Luo Feng could vaguely feel the mysteries of the movement of the 136 planets. These 136 stars form their own space-time, and the princes who live within them are incomparably safe. Even universe country leaders and other powerful beings can't enter that space. The silver-winged man smiled and explained, this was also built by the virtual universe company for the generations of their majesties. Luo Feng was shocked within. 136 planets forming their own spacetime? The 136 celestial bodies in the void constantly revolved in an extremely mysterious trajectory, drawing upon the 2 most fundamental laws of the universe, the law of time and the law of space, causing the void where the 136 celestial bodies existed to form its own spacetime. Although they could still be seen with the naked eye, what the naked eye saw was actually an illusion. Rumble, space rippled and a beautiful completely golden 1000 long universe ship appeared. Thank you everyone, and thank Lord Skyfeather Emperor for me too. At the entrance of the other ship, Luo Feng bid farewell to the silver-winged man and the others, after which he became a beam of light and flew towards the completely golden universe ship. The distance between the 2 ships was only 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng whistled past and arrived at the entrance of the beautiful golden ship. There stood 3 warriors with surging origin law energies. Luo Feng only recognized one of them, the bald man Dylan. Your Majesty. Dylan shouted. Dylan. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Your Majesty Luo Feng, welcome to the Primal region's 9th space. The other 2 undying warriors, one of them had long silver hair, silver pupils and bare feet. A beautiful lady smiled and said, the 9th space, also known as Black Period Space, is where all the previous majesties live. Please enter the ship. I'll send you to your residence. Luo Feng smiled and nodded, entering the ship. This ship was purely used to receive guests, hence the decorations were extremely luxurious. The so-called luxurious was naturally something normal rich people in the universe couldn't even see. Only people like Luo Feng who had inherited his memories and watched the treasure trove could understand how luxurious the ship's decorations were. Within the ship's guest hall, Luo Feng and the others stood there looking at the scenery of the space outside. Rumble. The ship activated and quickly returned to the 9th space. Luo Feng was shocked to discover that he could only see the constantly moving 136 planets. However, when the ship entered this space, Luo Feng could clearly see, The 136 planets were revolving at the edge of this space, and at the center of this space was an incredibly glaring continent. On this floating continent, there were many exquisite palaces. How mysterious! Luo Feng exclaimed. This spacetime is called the Black Period spacetime. The void continent ahead is also called the Black Period continent. The silver-haired, silver-eyed woman smiled as she explained, from the outside, one can only see 136 Black Era planets. However, they are unable to see the most important Black Period continent. All of the princes live on the Black Period continent. Of course. In this spacetime, the most expensive thing to construct is the 136 Black Period planets. The silver-haired, silver-eyed lady smiled and explained, these 136 Black Period planets are all man-made planets, every single one of them was created by our virtual universe company at a huge cost. After all, these are the residences of the many generations of your majesties. Safety is extremely important. We need to prevent the other races from ambushing you all. Luo Feng held his breath. A man-made planet? This was not difficult at all. However, for the virtual universe company to think that it was a huge price, that was an exaggeration. These 136 Black Period planets automatically revolve, forming this part of spacetime. There was a hint of pride on the silver-haired, silver-eyed woman's face. Anyone who wants to attack and trespass will be resisted by the spacetime here. All attacks will be diverted to the 136 Black Period planets and neutralized. Undying's attacks have no effect on this space, even a group of universe country leaders can forget about barging in. Luo Feng was shocked as he heard. The strength of the virtual universe company as his position grew higher and higher, the more he interacted with them, the clearer he understood. Like the powerful beast gods of Blood River continent, didn't they still fall in the end? Wasn't the entire Blood River continent under surveillance? Like Demon Mountain, the Demon Note inheritance was indeed powerful. However, the great being that left behind the inheritance back then, didn't he still retreat against the virtual universe company? Many secret regions were immediately occupied. The human race was one of the pinnacle races of the countless races in the universe. As one of the 5 great leviathans of humanity, the virtual universe company indeed had unbelievable power. Within the primal secret realm, the 9th spacetime, Black Period spacetime's Black Period continent was extremely vast. Every royal highness was given a territory of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Dylan's guards naturally stayed within Luo Feng's territory. After Luo Feng entered, his consciousness quickly connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal region, Luo Feng's villa training grounds. Rise. Luo Feng stood in the vast training grounds, the dark golden long rod behind him shot out tens of thousands of golden lights, simultaneously being controlled by Luo Feng's unbelievable level of spirit energy control, as a spirit reader controller with a spirit energy amplitude of over 3,200, using the Nan Shen Armament was much easier. Rumble. The surrounding land and skies changed color, becoming a boundless blade energy world. Condense. Luo Feng said softly. Immediately, a golden blade swiftly condensed in front of Luo Feng, after which it immediately dissipated. At the same time, another golden blade swiftly condensed 500 meters away from Luo Feng. After successfully condensing, it once again dissipated. And 1 kilometer away, another thread of golden blade energy condensed. Within the blade energy world, blade energy condensed and dissipated everywhere. Blade energy everywhere. Blade world second level. Everywhere. Haha. Luo Feng smiled. Immediately the entire blade world dissipated and countless gold lights swiftly returned to the dark golden long rod on his back. During the 12 years in Demon Note Mountain, even though my origin law comprehension has improved quite a bit, it's still not enough for me to reach the point where the blade world is everywhere. Luo Feng was delighted within. My spirit energy amplitudes are over 3,200, 32 times the normal limit of 100. This 32 times spirit energy control is what allows me to easily make the blade energy everywhere. If I were to attempt the 8th level now, I'd probably succeed, Luo Feng thought. Currently, amongst the universe-level geniuses, only Fei Tua alone had passed the 8th level of the Heavenly Bridge. And he had just left Demon Note Mountain, and the inheritance slot was taken by a stranger. There was no need to attempt the Heavenly Bridge now. If the entire world knew about it, it wouldn't do him any good. Also, having the ability to pass the 8th level didn't mean he had to do it immediately. Even when his strength was high enough in the future, passing the 8th and 9th levels in one go, it wasn't impossible. Like the wolfman Luo Fu who had the ability to pass the 8th level, he wasn't in a rush to do it. To the study. Luo Feng swiftly left the training grounds, becoming a beam of light and entering the study through the balcony window. Sitting at his desk, Luo Feng looked at his laptop screen, flipping through the information on the dangerous level and impossible level missions. As a Primal region member, Luo Feng's search authority was much higher now. Much of the secret information he couldn't see in the past was now accessible to him. Every 100 years I can at most accept 10 missions. The 100 years here refers to the 100 years between the qualification battles. Luo Feng thought, after the qualification battles in the next 100 years, I can at most accept 10 missions. After these 10 missions, I reckon my core will break through to Sector Lord level. When that time comes, my Earth body will break through to Domain Lord level. To Luo Feng, his Earth body could break through to Domain Lord level at any time. However, the moment he did, he would be sent out by the Virtual Universe Company, usually to his home universe country to become a governor. Even though there were many benefits to having authority, the privilege of universe-level geniuses, the training missions he would no longer have the chance to do so. Stay in the universe level? Luo Feng had never thought of being like the others, staying in the universe level for so long. With the golden horned beast's evolution speed, I have no need to delay at all. Luo Feng thought, and comprehending the origin laws is the easiest at the Sector Lord level. The moment the golden horned beast reaches the Sector Lord level, my universe origin law comprehension speed will increase by leaps and bounds. The Sector Lord level was the easiest level to comprehend the origin laws. In the vast universe, normal domain lords that could comprehend the origin laws were already considered not bad geniuses. However, Sector Lords being able to comprehend the origin laws was a matter of course. Even in the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, within that small starfield, there were many Sector Lords with extremely high comprehension and recognition of the origin laws. One could see, the Sector Lord's comprehension speed was indeed extremely fast. Sector Lords comprehending the origin laws had many advantages. This was also the reason why the Time Sector Lord was willing to stay at the Sector Lord level for so long, not rushing to break through to Undying. The moment Luo Feng stepped into the Sector Lord level, that would be his true explosive period. Obviously, with his internal world constantly swallowing metal and evolving, he only had 60 to 70 years left to reach the Sector Lord level. There are a total of 6 dangerous level mission worlds in the Primal region. I'll finish them all in one go. Luo Feng was extremely confident with the E9 grade laser gun, Masha Clansman, Golden Horned Beast, completing the dangerous level missions. As long as he didn't actively seek death, there would definitely be no problem. After I finish the dangerous level missions, I'll go do the impossible level missions. However, maybe these missions have some huge opportunities and secrets, however every one of them is probably very dangerous. The last time I succeeded in Demon Note Mountain, however the next time might not be the same. Luo Feng reminded himself, he had to act within his abilities, he couldn't let his greed cloud his eyes. Luo Feng had accepted the impossible level missions before. He was very clear there were a total of 18 of them. The Virtual Universe Company had 4 of them in their secret regions, of which the Primal region had 2 mission worlds. One was the first Purgatory Abyss, the reward was 1 million points, it was the highest and also the most dangerous and difficult one. The other was the 6th, Confusion Galaxy, the reward was 500,000 points, it was slightly more dangerous than Demon Mountain. I'll first complete the next 10 years. I'll first complete the 6 dangerous level missions, after which I'll go take the impossible level mission Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy is only slightly more dangerous than Demon Mountain. Luo Feng sat in front of his desk with a clear plan in mind. After this series of missions my strength will probably rise by quite a bit. The best would be after the Golden Horned Beast and Masha Clansman break through to Sector Lord level, I'll go to the hardest Purgatory Abyss. Luo Feng nodded. After all this was completed, he would be sent out by the Virtual Universe Company to become a governor. Luo Feng was very direct and efficient in his work. Since he had decided to do this, naturally he wouldn't waste time. That day he began to apply for the dangerous level missions. The dangerous level missions Luo Feng continued. The 6 dangerous level missions were all within the Primal region, hence the time spent on the universe ship was shorter. The completion speed of the 6 missions were all different. Of these 6 dangerous level missions, Luo Feng discovered 2 of them had a huge secret hidden within. However, it was extremely dangerous. These 2 dangerous level mission worlds, one was Weiska Planet, the other was the Ancient Shrine Ruins. Luo Feng had discovered some clues to a huge secret, and was carefully investigating them. Weiska Planet's most mysterious and important ancestral god tomb was guarded by a large group of Undyings. This scared Luo Feng so much that he didn't dare venture too deep, because the moment he was discovered by an Undying. Even if Luo Feng risked his life, with the Domain Lord level 9 Golden Horned Beast, the Undying would probably be able to kill him in one move. The outer perimeter of the ancient shrine was very low, allowing Luo Feng to easily complete the mission requirements. However, the deeper within, as Luo Feng explored, he discovered that it was extremely dangerous. Luo Feng had to rely on the Masha Clansman to carefully enter. One had to say the Masha Clansman's natural ability clone was indeed heaven-defying. Relying on this move, Luo Feng's main body hit at the outermost area, allowing the Masha Clansman to sneak in and enter the dangerous area, snatching food from the tiger's mouth and finding a unique vein leaf that was no less valuable than the flame void gold. This leaf was called the Purple 100 Net Leaf. It had many special uses. It was best to give it to an Undying level plant life to use. Its normal auction price was around 2 million mixed elements. Of course, after working so hard to get the Purple 100 Net Leaf, Luo Feng was afraid of causing trouble and immediately left the ancient shrine. He spent a total of 3 years and 6 months, completing 6 dangerous level missions, discovering 2 of the mission's hidden secrets, earning a total of 95,000 points and 1 Purple 100 Net Leaf. The more benefits one got from the missions, the more greed and ambition grew within one's heart. Because the 6 dangerous level missions that he worked so hard for only earned 95,000 points. Even at the highest exchange rate. 1 mixed element for 1 point, that was only 95,000 mixed elements. However, with just 1 huge secret and chance encounter, he got 1 Purple 100 Net Leaf, that was worth about 2 million mixed elements. It was enough to buy a few Black Dragon Mountain starfields. Luo Feng, you've earned big. Purple 100 Net Leaf, your teacher back then couldn't even find a place to buy it. Once the cloud contact vine breaks through to undying level, you can feed it the leaf and its strength will definitely soar. If the cloud contact vine was at Sector Lord Pinnacle and you feed it the leaf, it would have a 10% chance of breaking through to undying level. Babata was extremely excited. The reason why the chance isn't high is because the leaf's main effect is to change the body structure. After completing the 6 dangerous level missions, LuoFeng rested for 3 months before beginning the impossible level mission. Confusion Galaxy. Any Primal region member could at most take 3 impossible level missions. LuoFeng had already taken Demon Mountain, hence he could still take 2 more. According to LuoFeng's plan, he would first take the lower difficulty Confusion Galaxy. The difficulty was naturally compared to the mission LuoFeng, mission, Hell level mission the Hell Abyss the mission. The Hell Abyss was simply too dangerous. The difficulty level mission had an average death rate of 90%. However, the number 1 Purgatory Abyss had a shocking death rate of 99%. Hence generations of geniuses, very few dared to attempt it. Even someone as confident as LuoFeng. He also decided to wait for the Masha Clansman and Golden Horned Beast to reach Sector Lord level before attempting it. Confusion Galaxy was a small region within the vast Primal region. It was about the size of the Milky Way. Confusion Galaxy's mission was very simple, it was a search mission. 1. Find 39 crystals, detailed information on the crystals, receive 500,000 points. A simple search mission. Actually, the requirements of the impossible level missions were all very simple. Some were simple survival missions, others were search missions. But for the dangerous level and hard level missions, one could often see the requirements to kill and obtain items they encouraged killing. If I still dare to kill in the impossible level mission, I'd be courting death. LuoFeng carefully began the impossible level mission. Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy, just like its name, was a super labyrinth-like place. As it was the size of the Milky Way, hence it was much bigger than Demon Mountain. Even an undying who spent tens of thousands of years would probably only walk through a part of the labyrinth galaxy. It was a very mysterious place. The secrets within, according to LuoFeng's discoveries, shouldn't just be one. After spending a total of 5 years and 7 months, LuoFeng had finally gathered all 39 crystals in the Confusion Galaxy, completing the mission. However, LuoFeng wasn't in a rush to leave. He let his body hide in a relatively safe place and let the Masha Clansman explore the dangerous areas. The Masha Clansman's ability to transform was indeed very suitable for exploration. It had been close to 11 years since LuoFeng completed Demon Note Mountain and acquired Demon Note's inheritance. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay Little District. I don't believe that I won't be able to find the huge secrets and opportunities within Confusion Galaxy. My body is currently in the automaton ship, staying in a safe area outside Confusion Galaxy. The Masha Clansman has entered the secret areas within Confusion Galaxy. If I can't find it in a year, I'll spend 10 years. If that doesn't work, I'll spend 50 years. LuoFeng walked in the quiet walkway, pondering about Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy was indeed worthy of being called Confusion Galaxy. At the same time, it was filled with danger. The Masha Clansman had died 6 times because of this. However, every time, LuoFeng would spend some energy to form another Masha Clansman within his internal world. As long as the core wasn't destroyed, LuoFeng's 3 bodies wouldn't die. 30. Thunder God's anxious voice resounded, "You've finally arrived. Second brother, why the rush?" LuoFeng smiled as he looked in the distance. The white-robed bald Thunder God was rushing towards him. "Just what urgent matter? The mail you sent me actually said it was extremely urgent. It scared me so much that I immediately rushed over." LuoFeng smiled as he walked beside Thunder God. Thunder God and LuoFeng walked in the walkway and very quickly entered the courtyard beside. "It's really urgent." Thunder God's face revealed an anxious expression too. "Speak." LuoFeng sat on a chair in the courtyard. "It has to do with Big Brother." Thunder God said. "Big Brother?" LuoFeng was shocked. In terms of handling matters and character, LuoFeng really respected his big brother Hong. From LuoFeng's point of view, even if he and Thunder God got into trouble, his big brother Hong wasn't someone who would do so. "Speak, what's the situation?" LuoFeng's expression became serious. For a person like his big brother, nothing would happen to him for a very long time. The moment something did happen, it would be a huge problem. "This matter is laughable." Thunder God shook his head and sighed. "Right, you should know that Big Brother has been in the Ganwu Universe country for the past 10 years. "I know." LuoFeng nodded. During the qualification battles, his big brother had already returned to the Ganwu Universe country with his teacher Time Sector Lord Luo. The place he stayed these past 10 years was one of the 9 great administrative planets of the Ganwu Universe country, Jade Dome Planet. Thunder God said, "However, who would have thought that just because he was on Jade Dome Planet he actually developed feelings for a girl? What kind of joke is this?" LuoFeng stared. Big brother Hong developed feelings for a girl? During the Grand Nirvana, Hong's wife had already died. She died early. Hong had always brought up his 2 children. With Hong's position and power on Earth, who knew how many girls wanted to marry him? What kind of girls hadn't he seen before? What's more, with his mental state training, that level of power, to truly make Hong fall in love with someone, that was simply an unbelievable thing. This was even rarer than an iron tree blooming. "I'm not too sure either, but this is the truth." Thunder God exclaimed, "You should know Big Brother's personality. The moment he decides on something, even if everyone in the world objects, it won't affect him at all. Luo Feng nodded. Many illusions couldn't even shake his faith, much less Hong. Hong and that girl did develop feelings for each other, however. Jade Dome Planet, as one of the 9 great administrative planets of the Gangwu Universe country, is a place where the rich and powerful gather. Just the undying families alone have branches there are already a few hundred families. Thunder God frowned, and this girl's background is extremely huge. Her family forcefully stopped Hong from being with her. Cowherd and Weaver girl? In the universe, even those high and mighty super families usually wouldn't stop people from having relationships. On the contrary, if they met an absolute warrior, they would rather send their own women to sleep with him. Because the bloodlines of the strong were usually very strong. This resulted in the universe strong men could marry many women, and strong women could marry many men. Unless there was a special reason. For example, if an undying suddenly fell in love with a girl, saying, "I've fallen in love with this girl." Then due to fear of this undying, naturally the family wouldn't allow the girl to be with other men. However, such situations were extremely rare. Why would they stop? Luo Feng asked curiously, "Don't tell me some powerful person has fallen in love with her?" "Nope." Thunder God shook his head. "I haven't found any such relationship." Big Brother himself said no, it's purely that family stopping them. Luo Feng frowned. "I understand what you mean. You're saying, there's no other power stopping them, just this family stopping them? Right?" Thunder God nodded. "And the reason?" Luo Feng asked. "I don't know." Thunder God shook his head. "That girl's family probably doesn't want to explain the reason to us." "What family? Who's the undying behind the family? Tell me." Luo Feng frowned and prepared to investigate. Since this matter involved his big brother Hong, no matter what, he had to help.